Microphones on? Everybody turned on? Yep.
Mine is.
Okay. I'd like to welcome everyone to the August 12th, 2024 work session for the Aberdeen Town Board. And let's see, we don't have any guests tonight so far. If you're listening at home, we're glad you're listening to us. And we do have an agenda, so we will start with the first one, which is the consent agenda. All items listed below are considered routine or have been discussed at length in previous meetings will be enacted by one motion. No separate discussion will be held except on request by a member of the Board of Commissioners. A, consider approval of resolution number 24-18 to accept financial guarantee for infrastructure improvements for Legacy Lakes Phase 4 in the amount of $288,463.19. And B, consider approval of resolution number 24-19 to accept financial guarantee for infrastructure improvements for Sandy Springs Phase 3B and 4C in the amount of $200,741.56.
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
There's a motion and a second to accept the agenda. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Close out one. And go to number 2. Consider approval of resolution number 24-20, authorizing an agreement with North Carolina DOT, CSX, and Aberdeen Carolina Western Railroad Company for a crossing safety project on East South Street.
I'll make a motion that we consider the resolution 2420, authorizing the agreement.
There's a motion. Second. Everybody should have seen this motion. Just for the public. Paul, do you want to just mention something briefly before we take a vote?
So, Mayor, this is the same agreement we looked at a few months ago originally, and probably back in May or June. No, probably back in March or April, actually, for the first time. So this is the pretty massive amount of improvements on South Street where the rail crosses. Remember the problem with the road as it extended the Sycamore portion, coming through, changing the direction of that, making the railroad crossings. We have basically 2 railroads crossing there. So it's been a safety issue on NCDOT Rail Division's list for some time, and they've been looking at it. They brought this forward. We had to kind of work a little bit on the roadway changes. You know, we weren't as crazy about some of the one-way, but I think in the end it'll work out just fine. But this is really, they've said literally their largest project they've ever done from the Rails Division in terms of a safety mechanism. The whole project will cost them about $3.2 million. Our portion of it basically is to landscape the part on Sycamore going kind of away from South Street, landscape that up, grass, some bushes, whatever we kind of want to. So we'll keep Mike busy for a little bit. He's looking forward to it, and he'll do a great job. So we'll do that. There's a few other acquisition things, not like in the money sense, just to help with in terms of getting the, we have some walkways there by the crossing there. We want to make sure we maintain there. But we're kind of doing that anyway. There will be a little bit more of a cost, but we've been doing that for years in the other sections. It's an annual cost that I want to say was in the $1,500–1,600 range per year once it's done. Again, we've got that all over town with the railroads, not a big deal. But all said and done, Mayor, it's a good improvement. We're lucky that NCDOT Rail Division, picked this project to do it, and they've worked pretty hard. They want it pretty good. So, I support the motion 100%, and it'll be a big project, and we'll try and notify once we get better schedules what the interruption will be in that area. Hopefully it won't be too bad.
I'm a small town guy. I'm trying to figure out how this is $3 million.
Give me both.
It's way above my pay level. $3 million to put up some crossings.
The word railroad is involved. That's
Oh, I understand where it's going. I'm just saying $3 million for some railroad crossings. My goodness. That's what it's going to cost.
I know.
I'm just, where'd they come up with that? I don't know. All right, motion's made, a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, number 3. consider approval of a relocation agreement with Interstate Outdoor, Inc. for their relocation of a billboard located along North Carolina Highway 211.
So Mayor, in short, this is an agreement, and the town attorney, TC, he has reviewed it, and he's really worked it through, and he has brought this forward as the final result. So basically, this is a billboard that's being relocated because of the improvements to Highway 211. There were some issues in our UDO, but with the federal and state law and requirements, if it were a new billboard, it couldn't go up. But with the relocation, the town attorney felt like there was a right that we can't change under state and federal law to relocate that. So really, it's just specifying, okay, you can relocate this one, but we're saying it's not a change of our UDO or any amendment. It's just authorizing you under what arguably federal and state law grants to the advertising agency to relocate these billboards. So again, this is the 211, that's the long and short of it, really. So TC has looked at it, worked with them really for months now to come forward. It wasn't that complicated, but just sometimes it took a long time to go from one term to the next term and kind of get everybody on the same page. So it wasn't that difficult, but we've been looking at it for some time now, probably 6-7 months ago, truth be told, when it first started. So here we are, but that's really all it is. It's one single billboard to be relocated.
Now, that would, if it's on 211, it has to be between the county line and where? Anybody know where it is?
Yeah, let me see if it's over there.
This billboard? On the Aberdeen side of the fire station?
Mayor, there's a drawing up there. I don't know if you know the land better than a lot sometimes. It should be in a piece of paper.
Oh, okay.
We just
Okay.
passed it out to give a better location, but that's where it's going. I don't know if I recognize
See if I see a picture
a piece
of
of property there.
Philip, what was the address again? 10 what?
Highway 211, yeah. If you put that in your phone, it'll pop up.
Man, it's somebody's house.
If you're going towards the county line, it'd be on the left. Is that right? Be on the left past the Fear Factor? Is that,
The fire station is up.
do what?
Well, there's the Aberdeen Fear Factory, so it's back toward town. It's not even close to the fire.
It looks like it's, what I'm holding here, it looks like it's going on the left, going out of town.
That's what I've got too.
That what you have?
That's what mine shows too.
Yeah, so it's out there, somewhere along there where the, I don't know.
Do you know where Lockheed Drive is?
Yeah, it's somewhere out there.
It looks like it's just past that, and again, on your
Yeah.
left going out of town.
That's where it is. And because of the 4-laning of 211, they're having to move their sign.
That's right.
Okay.
Seems like that ought to be between DOT and them, but I guess it's gonna be on our property, so.
Yeah,
Well, it is. We're not paying for anything. It's just, it's getting the authorization from us to okay it because we have to okay it.
yeah, but bottom line is, we can't stop it, so.
Right.
Okay. Everybody understand where we are? Was there a motion to accept this?
I'll make a motion to approve the relocation agreement for the interstate outdoor.
There's a motion and a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. All right, number 4, consider approval of amendment number 2 for the water and sewer capital project budget ordinance.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Good to see you back after a month and a half of
That's right.
no meetings. What you have before you is a budget amendment for the Water and Sewer Capital Project Ordinance Fund. And if you go back and look back in December 2023, we let bids and received and so forth, and they came in at $935,920. But the planning before, we thought it was gonna be $744,000 back last summer. So obviously, we needed to do a budget amendment. But those funds that we will, are in the budget, if you take a look at the middle of my memo, basically the Water and Sewer Capital Reserve of $300,000, the Pinehurst Resort Country Club, PRCC, paid $281,265, and then with the enhanced fund balance funds, well, basically with our ARP funds, that calls for $354,655. So that actual pay for those three items come up with what the budget is of $935, $920. So I'm recommending approval of a budget amendment, which is number 2 for this project, and obviously requesting a motion and approval of the budget amendment, and I will make those changes tomorrow for that particular fund.
This is for infrastructure around number 10 on Highway 5?
Running 10 and 11. It's Highway
10 and
number
11,
5.
yeah, it's all off of Highway 5,
Correct.
yeah. That's gonna help you out, isn't it? Thank you.
So the amendment was 35,000?
No, the amendment goes from $744,000 to $935, $920. If you take a look at the budget amendment itself, it's listed
Right.
on the second page of that amendment. I just
But really,
showed,
this is for the project, not so much, I mean, the project cost, not as much for us as it is the whole project. Is that fair, Butch?
correct.
Is this water and sewer money?
It is a combination of water and sewer capital reserve money where he have been in one of our funds. And then the Pinehurst Resort paid us
Yeah.
$281,000, yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm just talking about our side of it, is that water and sewer, our
Yeah.
side of it?
Yes,
Well, we have water and sewer funds.
Yeah.
We had capital reserve funds for water and sewer, and then we had some that was just project ordinance.
Correct.
For water and sewer funds.
right.
So you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like there's a special water and sewer that's just in that enterprise fund. Then we had a capital reserve for water and sewer, again for water and sewer. Within the project fund, that could have been used for anything, but we put in whatever the 700 and change in there originally.
Correct.
You know, from the ARP money, you know, that was basically reimbursed and we could use it for anything. That's where the lion's share of this is really coming from. But three different funds.
Any questions? Is there a motion?
I make a motion that we approve the budget amendment for the water and sewer capital project budget ordinance.
Number 2? Amendment 2?
Yeah, no, 2.
Okay, thank you. And there is a second. Discussion from the board? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, let's go to number 5. Consider approval of financial agreement for deposits, money market accounts, CDs with First National Bank, and authorize town manager and finance director to sign any or all documents on behalf of the town.
Okay. Board, I brought you something similar to this in November 2022, and basically, this is a financial arrangement with another financial institution. The first one just didn't work out. This one is more solid and is very good rate, and you'll take a look in the bank letter. It was from First National Bank. They are doing a lot of business in North Carolina now. And starting in probably September, you've been hearing that the federal funds rate probably will drop. So if you take a look at the money market offer in there, they've offered 5.35% for 6 months, up to 6 months. And, you know, we keep a lot of our money in capital management trust, and they know that everybody spreads their money around purposely. And I think this is a very good deal to have an opportunity to place some of our money in that account. I'm looking at maybe doing $3 million, but what's really intriguing is not just the rate, but if we need that money, they leave the rate the same. I can draw it down to leave $5,000 in there if I need to. And as a reminder, if you take a look at another attachment, General Statute 15931, we have to have all our money collateralized at all times in some form of security or FDIC insurance. If you do the ICS portion, that spreads around to the various banks around the state or around the country that we can designate to put it in, so they would never have more than $250,000 in there. So this program's been around for years, that's available even to individuals, not just cities and counties. But in our case, we had to keep each dollar collateralized at all times. So I'm requesting his approval, sort of opportunity for approval for their financial arrangement, as well as recommending that either town manager or myself can sign any and all of the documents, because I may be doing some activity this week, possibly.
The you said 5.3?
5.35.
For 6.35, for 6 months.
For 6 months.
And this is this a money market?
It's a money market, but it seems to be like a CD, but they are fixing the rate for us for at least 6 months.
Okay.
And that's in writing, in that bank letter.
Can I pass this to the board? As it says, the town manager and finance director, is that town manager, both of you would have to sign it, or is it one or the other?
One or the other, yes, sir, and or.
It says and. What does the board think?
So are we making the motion to go to First Bank, or are we making the motion for you to sign the papers? Or both? I mean, First National, I'm sorry.
I'm recommending that we can move up to $3 million to them,
But-
Yeah, it's just going from one investment
Bank.
to another.
banker to another, that's all it is. It's not spending money.
It's not new money.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying, are we just approving the bank, or are we approving your signature?
Both.
Both.
It's
Well-
just allowing us to make the change, and Butch will watch the markets, and, you know, it really is just going from a lower return to a slightly higher return that seems a little bit more protected for 6 months. That's really what it is, but, you know, when you have a couple $1 million, that can add up to be pretty good funds.
Yeah, my question is to the board, would it be, my thinking, would it be better to have both of them sign this instead of just one or the other? That's a big chunk. And these,
What have we done in the past? Just one? I mean, we've had CDs before.
In the past, it's only been up to the finance director.
Oh, okay.
That
So we
could do
would
that.
add a second just in case.
Right, like the
In case you
capital
dial
management
away.
trust, we can move that money online.
You feel free to take my name off of that if you want.
Right.
If Butch wants to sign it, I'm okay, but, I think, you know, he says that because sometimes it's just tracking somebody down for a signature, I think, but,
what's the thinking?
Well, I didn't read the 100 pages of legalese in here, so I hope the lawyer has, but,
Now, I will say, Commissioner Helms, TC sent me an email this afternoon, I sent him these documents. He signed off on everything on
okay.
it.
All right, I'll make a motion that we, I'm making a motion to move it to First National, is that, or
No.
do I need to do that at
It's
all, or are we
just-
just gonna do the signature?
It would be to First National, that would be the main depository, then they would spread it out
Right,
to
yeah.
all the proper banks.
But we're trying to figure out what we're voting
What
on.
the motion's gonna be, yeah.
so it'd be a motion to authorize, moving the designated funds to First National, up to $3 million,
And authorize, yeah, and authorize.
I would like to say up to and including 3 million.
Yeah, it says,
Up to and including.
So see, 3 million is the magic number to get that 535.
Oh, okay.
okay.
Yeah.
It still says town manager and finance director. Is it and or?
It should be
And
or
there it
and
says
or.
and, so we have to-
It's good. It should be and or.
Unless you want to modify.
I've got and or on my memo.
This one just says and.
All right.
It-
How is it?
It just says and right here.
I know, that's what I was saying, town manager and finance director.
So that would, if that's what it says, town manager and finance director, it'd be two people signing it.
Right.
That's my question. Is the board
Does that
looking
say
to
that
do-
inside of the document too?
on this one, it just says and.
Yeah, but I mean, that's on the agenda, but I was saying inside.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see it inside.
Is the will of the board to have two people sign it or one or the other sign it? Because it says and.
Yeah, well, we've done one up till this time for the last 100 years, I guess, so I guess one be
Yes, sir.
fine. One.
It's the board's preference.
All right, I'll make a motion that we move up to $3 million to First National Bank and authorize either the finance director or the town manager to sign the legal documents. That sound legal enough?
Up to and including 3 million.
I think I said
You said
that.
up to, I'm sorry.
Up to and including 3 million. Not 3 million and a penny. Up to 3 million.
No, just 3 million is good.
I second.
Did somebody second it?
Police did.
Does anybody
I
want to discuss it?
Yeah, would like to know, what it says, not, because this is which one on the
Oh,
agenda.
here you go. It's 100 pages long.
I know,
There
I'm
you go.
completely confused because I read it.
I think, I mean,
See that part?
the banking part is pretty self-explanatory, that up to $3 million. I just was questioning the and part. And maybe that was just a deletion on the agenda, I don't know.
Town manager. And or, it says and or in the
Okay.
bottom.
Oh, it does,
Yeah,
okay.
it does.
I was
Okay.
just reading what this
Okay.
said.
Okay, well, that's good.
It's
And I
and,
said, and I second.
yeah,
And so there's the second. Any further discussion?
thanks.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, board.
Okay. Number 6, consider approval of updated pay plan for fiscal year 24-25.
So Mayor, you've got in your packet the cover memo for this action, and really it's just an update of the pay plan. And in the actual pay plan with the small print, you'll see in red the changes, and they're actually pretty minor. It's really more of a cleanup than anything else. So, we approved the new pay plan for this fiscal year 24-25 during the budget approval period. And then since then, really just a few retitling, name changes, status. So there's no new positions. There's really new names for positions, just to kind of make some things even out. And I'll just summarize those real quickly for you. So really, you've got the retitling of the accounting technician / purchasing agent position. New name will be accounting operations specialist. Change the exemption status of the public works operation manager to non-exempt. So it was exempt, now it's non-exempt. Addition of police detective / accreditation manager. So that's not a new position, but just adding another descriptive role to that position, because the accreditation manager, they take care of, we're going through the state accreditation process, they take care of all the paperwork, make sure it's on track and moving forward. So it's really just giving that position a little bit more of a descriptive duty. And then the last one, removal of split position for assistant public works director / public works operation manager. Instead, it'll be called, with this change, dedicated as just assistant public works director position, which is in fact kind of the more common name. They were all budgeted, paid for during the budget approval. So again, there's no money attached to this or positions. It's just really the retitling it to straighten it out for our pay plan. And Mayor, just so you know, I mean, the pay plan, it's always there. It's an enormous amount of work with HR to keep it right and make it fit reality. You don't always appreciate it, but, department heads will come in and say, hey, Regina, we want to do this. Regina's like, no, you can't do that because the pay plan says this instead of that. And she's right. It doesn't. And so we were trying to keep it reality and the pay plan together and make them in sync. So really, it's just to keep things tidy and keep things moving along.
And as long as the board members have been here, they understand how competitive all this is. My goodness. You hire somebody today and tomorrow they find they can make a little bit more money somewhere else and they're gone. It's happening in everywhere you look, this is going on. So we got to keep this going like it is, and hopefully we can get some people to stay. All right. This is consider approval.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the pay plan for 24-25.
Second.
And there is a second. Further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Close that out. Goes to number 7. Update on scheduled closing of Phase 2 of Aberdeen Elementary School. Town manager.
So Mayor, you got a memo on your desk with a little bit more detail. So basically, the purchaser is asking for an extension of 90 days, and that would move it to, let's see, that would move it to, I've got the date on here somewhere. Well, it's going to be November 9th. Yeah, November 9th, 2024. To really work out a few things. Primarily, it's just financing, it's an appraisal, it's working on the backlot title, basically, which we've talked about before, clearing that up, and a couple other things that they just need some more time to do. So, you know, they did make the Phase 1 closing back in the end of June, so they have done that, and so they're just trying to work through this last part. So, you know, it's clearly my recommendation to give them this time to work through it, and if the board approves it, I'll definitely work with the purchaser to try and get everything squared up as quickly as we can. But just so you know, if you haven't been up there lately, on what they did close on, which is a good bit of the property, they've already been doing a lot of cutting back of trees and cleaning it up and doing some other things to kind of patch up some of the broken windows and other things on the school that's there now, just to kind of get it tightened up. And they do that for a lot of reasons. One, just for security, but also two, you know, they're trying to get a good appraisal for the building, you know, for their construction loan. And so the better it looks, the
Yes.
easier it is to get that loan. I mean, so that's
Yeah.
really a lot of this. So they just need some more time to kind of get that tied together. So far, so good. I know this has not been the quickest closing in the history of closings, but here we are. So let's just, we did get the first part, and that does go toward our fiscal year as last year. So if we can get this closed here, you know, in the near future, this money will go toward our fiscal year that we're currently in now. So.
Everybody understand what we're talking about? Has anybody noticed that chunk of fence that's gone up there?
In front.
Somebody ran through it from US 1.
Ran through it.
Isn't that right? Chief, somebody on US 1 ran up that bank and went through the fence. This is,
Did they get killed?
I don't know how it turned out, but I'm sitting here going, that fence has been there for as long as I know,
I know, forever.
forever. And there's 2 sections just
That's an odd
take
place
it.
to run through the
I
fence,
can't
too.
imagine running up the bank to go through the fence.
Trees there?
No, they're cutting the trees down, I think.
I'll be in touch.
Yeah, there you go. That's what,
It's kind of like halfway.
there you go.
It's not like it's near the intersection or anything. It's just kind of like in the middle of it. It's kind of
Okay. Does everybody understand what this one is, where we're going with this one? Let's see, let me get my paper back.
Want a motion?
Yeah, let me get here. It's,
Number 7.
yeah, it's number 7 to, Paul, state it again, please.
So the motion would be to extend the closing date for Phase 2 of the old Aberdeen Elementary School property until on or before November 9th
Of August,
November 9th of 2024.
November.
November 20th.
Right, it was,
Okay.
November 9th.
August 9th was the original date, so this is 90 days.
Okay, be November. All right, somebody gonna make a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we move the closing date for Phase 2 to November 9th, 2024, for the elementary school.
Closing.
A
Yep.
second.
Closing.
Yeah, there is a second. Further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Okay, moving right along. All right, we're down to other business, and I'll start with the board. Does any member of the board have other business, because there is other
I've
business.
got an inquiry, I guess. I understand that Ron Jackson wants to reopen the zoning, I guess, for the primary school. Got any news on that? or-
Yeah, I think, and I'll defer to, both Pam, everybody knows Pam, but I'm gonna reintroduce Pam since she started, last week. She's doing a great job, and as soon as she walked in the door, I saw Chad stand up straight, and all the relief just walked off his back. So he was glad to have some help, but, glad to have Pam back, and, she's been great, she's done a great job in just a week and a day she's been here, so it's been really great to have her back, so.
Pam, have
Looking
you
forward to
solved
that.
all the problems already?
I've discovered some problems already.
Okay, good. You discovered some. That'll work.
Short
that's a
answer,
start.
short answer, and then Pam and Chad can correct me if I'm wrong, but they did file a rezoning request for the same property at the primary school. I don't know all the details, I think it was, again, neighborhood commercial, don't quote me on that. So that was working its way through the system, and I think it was headed for the planning board, but there was requirements for, I think, a community meeting and maybe something else that they hadn't met yet, that they had asked about. We answered the question, and so I think that's what we're waiting on, or it's gonna go forward, sure.
Yeah, to answer your question, there are a couple items we did ask for before. We were looking for a site plan. We were also looking for a traffic impact analysis, to basically have their application be complete, and then they have to go through the process with the community input session and move forward. As of today, we have still not received the site plan or traffic impact analysis.
What is the point of the traffic impact
Basically,
analysis?
to identify peak hour traffic in the area, to see if there's going to be any improvements that's required as part of the project, if it was to move, to get approved.
Yeah, and they're only required once they're triggered by a certain amount of density that could be built there, and they're way above that potential, with, if you max out the zoning or the, density on that parcel as, under what they requested.
Yeah, so as of date, it's still an incomplete application.
Thank you. Ms. Lane, did you have one? Any other business? Did you have any? There's a couple of issues that we need to get some updates on. About, 2 weeks ago, Chief, you met with the school board chairman, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And it was a meeting here, it was about, 2 weeks ago, almost?
Yes, sir. It lasts about 30 minutes.
And I was out of town, so I was not here. It was held here, correct?
Yes, sir.
Can you give us the short story on how